Hello and welcome to my channel, your go-to source for the latest in WWE 24. Don't forget to follow and subscribe for all the updates. Let's dive right in.
Triple H has been head of WWE Creative for the past few years. However, he nearly stepped down from his position. Triple H took over creative control of WWE from Vince McMahon. Since then, he has been the head booker in charge of the creative direction of the company. While his initial years in the role were successful due to some masterful storytelling, the company's creative direction in recent years has come under scrutiny by fans. This was evident when the sports entertainment juggernaut struggled to sell tickets for its biggest PLE of the year, WrestleMania 42. Therefore, the game's job was in jeopardy. Speaking on his Wrestling Observer Live, Brian Alvarez said that the WWE Hall of Famer was about to step down from his role as head of creative due to outside interference in creative decisions. However, the game ended up getting his contract extended. I had heard about it prior to that as well with other things that had come from above. It was just there was a feeling that perhaps these people keep getting involved, and why would they be getting involved if they had so much faith in this guy? And there were people that thought, I don't know if this guy is going to be around this time next year. Turns out he ends up getting his deal extended so he will be around. But it was definitely a discussion point that this may not be his thing for a long period of time. It could be over soon. H/T Cultaholic on X. Triple H has been on the receiving end of a lot of backlash recently, especially after WWE released 26 superstars. Fans were not happy that the higher-ups were earning millions while they released talent. According to Post Wrestling, Nick Khan held a town hall meeting where he confirmed that the game has signed a multi-year deal with WWE. A number of us, TKO President Mark Shapiro, TKO CFO Andrew Schleimer, others, were able to get Paul Levesque to extend with us in a multi-year deal, Khan said. We're excited about that. He's the head of creative amongst other things, and has been doing a great job for and with us. It will be interesting to see how long the WWE Hall of Famer will continue in his current role. The wrestling world thrives on drama, both inside and outside the ring, but sometimes, the most compelling stories are the ones fans never expected to hear. One such revelation has recently sent shockwaves through the industry. Triple H nearly stepped down as head of creative for WWE. For fans who have praised the modern WWE product as a new era of storytelling, this news feels almost unthinkable. Since taking control of creative, Triple H has been widely credited with revitalizing the company's direction, bringing long-term storytelling, character depth, and a renewed focus on in-ring quality. But behind the scenes, the pressure of steering a global entertainment powerhouse nearly pushed the game to the brink of walking away. The weight of the crown. Being WWE's head of creative isn't just another executive role. It's arguably one of the most demanding jobs in sports entertainment. Triple H isn't only responsible for crafting weekly television shows like RAW and SmackDown. He also oversees premium live events, talent development, storyline continuity, and fan engagement across multiple platforms. Add to that the expectations from millions of fans worldwide, internal corporate pressures, and the constant scrutiny from media and critics, and it becomes clear just how intense the role can be. Even for someone as battle-tested as Triple H, the strain can build over time. Sources close to the situation suggest that the near decision to step down wasn't triggered by a single moment, but rather a culmination of factors. Creative disagreements, scheduling overload, and the immense responsibility of maintaining WWE's momentum all played a role. Living in the shadow of legacy. Another layer of complexity comes from the legacy Triple H inherited. For decades, WWE's creative direction was shaped by Vince McMahon, whose influence defined the company's identity. Stepping into that role meant not only continuing a legacy, but also evolving it for a new generation. Triple H took a different approach, more collaborative, more long-term, and more attuned to fan feedback. While this shift was largely celebrated, it also came with resistance in certain circles. Balancing tradition with innovation is never easy, and the pressure to prove that his vision could sustain WWE's success added another layer of stress. Health and perspective. It's impossible to discuss Triple H's mindset without acknowledging his health journey. After suffering a serious cardiac event in 2021, his perspective on life and work inevitably changed. The experience forced him to step away from in-ring competition and reevaluate his priorities. While his passion for WWE never wavered, the physical and emotional toll of such a health scare can't be underestimated. Taking on one of the most demanding roles in the company afterwards speaks volumes about his dedication. But it also highlights why the idea of stepping down may have crossed his mind. For someone who has already faced life-threatening challenges, the question becomes, how much is too much? A tipping point behind the curtain. Reports indicate there was a specific period where the pressure reached its peak. Creative plans were under intense scrutiny, major storylines were at critical turning points, and expectations from stakeholders were higher than ever. At that moment, stepping away may have seemed like the only viable option to regain balance. It wasn't about failure, it was about sustainability. Even the most passionate leaders can reach a point where they question whether they can continue at the same pace. What makes this situation particularly compelling is how close it reportedly came to becoming reality. This wasn't a passing thought. It was a serious consideration. Why he stayed. Despite everything, Triple H ultimately chose to remain in his role. That decision speaks volumes about his commitment to WWE and his belief in the direction he's guiding the company toward. One key factor appears to be the support system around him. From talent who trust his vision to colleagues who share the workload, Triple H isn't carrying the burden entirely alone. The modern WWE structure is more collaborative than ever, allowing him to delegate responsibilities and focus on the bigger picture. Additionally, fan response has played a significant role. The positive reception to storylines, character development, and overall show quality has reinforced that his approach is resonating. Walking away at a time when the product is thriving would have been a difficult choice. The fan's perspective. For fans, this revelation adds a new layer of appreciation for what they see on screen each week. It's easy to critique booking decisions or debate storylines, but understanding the immense effort behind the scenes changes the narrative. Triple H isn't just booking matches, he's shaping the future of an entire industry. Knowing that he nearly stepped down highlights just how demanding that responsibility truly is. It also sparks curiosity. What would WWE look like today if he had made a different decision? A reminder of human limits. Perhaps the biggest takeaway from this situation is that even larger-than-life figures have limits. Triple H built his career on resilience, toughness, and an unrelenting work ethic. Yet, even he reached a point where stepping back felt necessary. In an industry that often glorifies pushing beyond limits, this moment serves as a reminder that balance matters. Leadership isn't just about endurance, it's about knowing when to reassess and adapt. What comes next? Looking ahead, Triple H's continued presence as head of creative suggests stability for WWE's future. However, this near departure could influence how he approaches the role moving forward. We may see a greater emphasis on delegation, a more structured creative process, and perhaps even new voices stepping into key positions. Evolution is part of WWE's DNA, and this experience could lead to a healthier, more sustainable creative environment. Final thoughts. The revelation that Triple H nearly stepped down is both shocking and enlightening. It pulls back the curtain on the realities of running WWE's creative machine and reminds fans that even the strongest leaders face moments of doubt. In the end, his decision to stay signals unfinished business. Triple H isn't done shaping WWE's future, and if anything, this moment may fuel him to push even further. For fans, one thing is certain: the story behind the scenes is just as compelling as anything happening in the ring.